Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Jones, and this is my beautiful wife, Allison Jones.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of the Relationship Rundown.
Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe, like us, share us, and comment below with anything that you would like to hear us talk about.
And today's topic is, how do you get over a really bad fight?
Bad fight. I just wanted to take a minute out of this video and let you know that what you are about to see in no way promotes domestic violence. We know domestic violence is a big issue in our nation and in our world. And hopefully something in this video sparks something in you to understand that there is no place in the home for domestic violence. Now back to our video.
Okay, babe.
Hold
Right.
on.
Why are you eating ice cream? We're like on camera.
So, we're on this keto diet, right?
Clearly some of us are, because not all of us are eating ice cream, but
So, I can't really show you the ice cream because I don't have the rights to show you the ice cream. But let me just say this about this ice cream. It's 180 calories for the whole pint, which means it's the worst ice cream in the world. It's 5 net carbs.
But
it's
you're still sitting there
killing me. But I'm hungry, so I'm gonna eat it. All right, so let's get on to the topic, honey.
okay, so one of the worst fights. Okay, so before I give you what happened, I will say that this is embarrassing. It happened a long time ago.
Long time ago.
And the court case has been settled. But anyway, we were, what were we arguing about? We got into an argument.
So, and you know,
On our
we do
way to the
shout outs,
Walmart.
right? Shout out to LG, right?
LG 2000.
So LG is one of our personal photographers. He's
Yes.
always doing the pictures for some of the events we do, right? So I'm breaking it down why I think LG is professional, because at the time his old camera equipment had been stolen from his trunk. And my wife told me that LG wasn't a professional.
No, that is not. First of all, that is not even how it went down.
She told me he wasn't
and
a
Andrea,
professional.
No, Andrea, my sister, and I had done a photo shoot for Deanna. Shout out to my stylist, Deanna Evans.
Back to the shout outs.
In DC, Maryland, Virginia. Shout out to Deanna. But we had done a photo shoot, and you were looking at the pictures from the photo shoot, and you were asking me questions about what type of equipment did this man have, and I was like, I have no idea. I was there for the photo shoot, and you said, because
Right.
these pictures turned out really nice, but when LG did our magazine shoot, you were making some comments.
LG didn't even do our magazine.
Whatever. The point was, I didn't know what type of equipment the man had. And he kept going back and forth with me, and I
So
said,
she says,
I don't know, and I don't
LG
care.
not professional.
No.
So pretty
No,
much
no,
the
no,
point we're making
no,
is
No.
we get into an argument.
Don't try to be messing my relationship up with LG, trying to shout him out. What I
So-
said was, if what you're telling me, because Kevin, who is Mr. Cameraman,
Yeah, y'all like how I look, don't you?
always was like, oh, he must have had a
You look
Nikon
good.
450 series SL.
Let's just say we are talking. It's so long ago, we have no clue what.
I
really
have a
was.
clue.
Because we were
I got
talking
busted in
about
the mouth.
LG.
I just would like to say that for the record. Go ahead.
She lied on camera. Okay, so anyway.
Anyway.
So what happened is we got into this argument. So we're in the Walmart parking lot, and she needs to run into the parking lot. I mean, into the Walmart to get something. Right. So I'm like, I'm not going in. So you can go ahead. So she was like, well, give me the keys then.
Right. Because he threatened to leave me. So I said, well,
So
in order
it's
to
hot
prevent an
outside.
issue.
I need the air. I need a radio if you going in. Why I got to give you the keys? I'm a grown man.
No,
So-
because I didn't want any issues. So I said, listen, if you don't go in, you give me the keys, I'll go in. That way, I can't leave you and you can't leave me. So no harm, no foul.
So anyway, one thing led to the next, and if you know us, we can go from the 0 to 100 real quick.
I would not. I believe that the CCTV in the Walmart parking lot in York, Pennsylvania, could have been entered into evidence. That's all I gotta say.
For me, right. So she ends up beating me up.
Okay.
From the back seat
of
the car.
First of all,
to the point I'm bleeding, everybody.
This is slanderous.
And actual factual. And I'm bleeding. She's in the back seat.
This is fake news.
She's in the back seat. I jump out the car and I call the police.
No, I jumped out the car because the car was rocking back and forth so much. I was afraid somebody would think that we were having sex in the parking lot of the Walmart.
So anyway, she was in the back seat. I'm in the front seat. She's beating me up.
This is untrue.
I'm bleeding. So anyway, we move on.
First of all, he is
I bleeding?
He is acting like we have a domestic violence situation. That is not true. I was trying to get the keys to the car.
And she had me bleeding. You see the scar on my forehead?
This is lies.
Same truth.
I just was trying to get the keys to the car.
So anyway, let's move past that.
We were tussling over the keys to the car because I wanted them.
The police ended up coming, and it was a major
Time
situation.
out.
She was lying. So anyway, past that, but she lied to the police. But anyway, past that. So here we are in the major situation. You would say,
we only got tickets, so it clearly was not that heavy.
Yeah. So you would say, wow, that's crazy. What a big blow up.
See how he
big situation.
He called it a major situation. We got tickets and we went home together in the same car.
We did. But see, the point of this whole story is to tell you there is a way to get past that, right?
Yeah, but the way to get past it is not to go to court and act like you Jack McCoy and basically cross-examine your wife on the stand. That's not the way to get past it.
I did that. But
this is what happens when you watch Law and Order.
Shout out to Law and Order.
Shout out to Jack McCoy.
Yeah. So look, really, let's get serious and talk about what happens after all that's over. We wanted to tell you about the story so you can see how extreme that the story, had become.
Right.
In order so that you can understand that regardless of the situation, you can get past it, right? First thing you have to do is understand that
you have to own up to your
you have to understand
accountability
where
in the
you
situation.
are in the situation, right? So I always say accountability is owning 100% of it, even if you are only partially responsible, right? So accountability.
I'm not owning 100% of what I'm responsible.
So accountability just means that you own 100% of something. Responsibility is taking partial blame for something. That's the only difference. Look it up.
Webster's definition?
It is Webster. So check this out. If you own 100%, that doesn't mean that you're responsible for the outcome. The situation or the outcome. It just means that you were 100% accountable for what happened, and you got to take ownership for it.
Okay.
So I think that's the number one thing you have to do when you get into a fight. Hey, everybody is accountable for the situations they're in.
Yes.
Secondly, I do believe that once you take ownership for it, you have to take you out of the next conversation you have with that person. And that's hard. So you the one that did that, and you the one that did that. And I ain't gonna lie, even in our household, that is absolutely one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
But so many people automatically...
You have to take you, and I think you have to take the superlatives. Like, you always, you never.
Always.
Because you always do that.
Yeah, you always do too, right? So
you never listen. Anyway.
I can't stand you. My point is, those are the things that you have to do in that follow-up point. Once you take accountability, then you have that conversation and you take you and the always and nevers out of that conversation. Right. And then finally, what you have to do is understand that, one fight don't stop the plan. It's like we talked about in our other episodes, it's a system to this. We are partners in this.
Right.
You have to understand that this is just one thing. It might be a dip, but you stand up and come back from a dip. And you have to understand that that's the next step.
But I do think you also have to recognize what got you to that point, and to recognize you can never really get to that point again. If it's really I'm talking about the worst fight. I'm not talking about arguments over who didn't pick up their
Yeah.
socks. I'm talking about knock down, drag out, like, yo, it's about to be over.
Yeah.
But I think you have to say, okay, I have to own my part, be accountable, get away from the you, never, and all this other stuff. But I think you have to say, okay, what triggered us? Because it could be triggers from your past relationships that really have nothing to do with this relationship.
True. Yeah, that's right.
And you have to maybe own that part of it and help your partner understand that when you threaten to leave me at the Walmart, that triggers the time my daddy left me at the circus or something. I don't know. It could be a trigger, but just help. Nobody's daddy left him at no circus. I'm just talking about the triggers and be vulnerable with that person and say, this is why I got so upset because this was my trigger. So when you do that, this is what it sparks in me, which is why I go from 0 to 100 really quick, because we all bring stuff into our relationships from our past and we sometimes don't even know it. So while I was married to Jack McCoy for about 18 months and he still refused to pay this little dumb ticket. So then I got another fine for failure to appear at his case that he was appealing. After we are in court and he cross-examines me, and I swear if that judge wasn't sitting there, I might have thrown that little Bible at his forehead, but I did not. He's talking about, so what you doing after this? You want to go to lunch?
And that's how you move past things.
I think
nothing is too big to overcome. And
That's
always
true.
remember, you got to take it out of your own hands and put it in somebody else's. Hopefully you're putting it in a higher power, trust and believe.
That's true.
But really, and then the final thing that I have to say about relationships and how you overcome the toughest situations is before you get into those situations, make sure you're with somebody that is at that same level of overcoming or at that same level of, I don't even have a word for it, but let me put it in perspective. If you're crazy, you got to be with somebody that's crazy. You can't be, if you're not crazy, and let me say this. I heard Ricky smiling.
I don't want to be with somebody that's crazy.
She crazy though.
Okay.
And I'm crazy. In a way, we got different crazies, right? But Ricky Smiley said, look, I know this type of person I am. And this is on a radio show I heard him say, I know the type of person that I am. And if you hear jiggling in the mic, it's because she keeps on kicking the mic stand. I'm sorry, y'all.
I have to do something with my toes.
So anyway, Ricky Smiley said, look, he learned early in his dating that he couldn't be with somebody that got his, made his tempers flare and all of that. And he recognized that about himself. For me, I need somebody to kind of be a little crazy. And you know what?
I don't need you to push my buttons, though.
Yeah, I don't want you to push my buttons, but I knew what I was getting into. And that's the point that I'm making.
True.
Know who you're marrying or who you're dating. Because you don't want to be caught off guard by a reaction or a response to something you do. And vice versa. You don't want to be in a situation where they're caught off guard by something that you do.
Yep.
And they aren't able to come back from that and overcome that.
And to put this in perspective, this was easily 10 plus years ago. So this is not like, something happened yesterday and all this other stuff. And so we've never gotten to that point again, I don't think.
No.
So, it was a learning, and that's the thing. You have to learn from it. How do we get here? How do we get out of it? How do we never get here again? So be accountable and learn from it, and so you can understand how not to get there again. Because one of those times, to be real honest, somebody could get hurt. Your relationship could really suffer irreparable damage, and you don't want that. So
not at all.
So I think that's it.
That is it. Woo! This was
we need
a good
the
one.
Law and Order, like
Don't. Hey, this was actually a real good episode.
Good job, babe.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to the Relationship Rundown. Don't forget to like it, subscribe, comment. And if you want us to talk about a specific topic, tell you something that happened in our life, do so. Send emails to relationshiprundown@gmail.com. And like we said, say it again, baby. They need to do what?
What?
Like us.
Oh, okay. Like us and subscribe.
Thank you and comment. Till the next time, take care.
Okay.